forgive us. Help us.
Why should I? You sent me away to die.
I remember the night my life ended before the war even began. My father, Richard Hale, called me into his office, and I already knew something was wrong. He didn't look at me like a son, he looked at me like a problem. Victor stood beside him, arms crossed, smiling that same cold smile I had always hated. "You'll take the deployment," my father said, his voice flat like it didn't matter. I swallowed hard. "That's the Northern Front. No one comes back from there." Victor shrugged. "Exactly," he said. I stepped forward. "Why me? I train for logistics. I'm not even on combat rotation." My father leaned back. "Plans change." I shook my head. "No, this isn't a plan. This is a sentence." Victor laughed softly. "Don't be dramatic," he said. "Someone has to protect this family's future, and it's not you." His words hit harder than anything else. I looked at my father, waiting for him to deny it. He didn't. He just nodded once like the decision had already been made. "Pack your things," he said. "You leave at dawn." My chest tightened. "You're sending me to die." Silence filled the room. My mother stood near the door. I turned to her. "Mom, say something." She didn't meet my eyes. "It's for the family," she whispered. That hurt more than anything else. I laughed, but it sounded broken. "I am your family." Victor stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Not anymore," he said. "You're just the risk we can't afford." I felt something inside me crack. Not loudly, just enough to change everything. "Fine," I said quietly. "I'll go." My father nodded again, like that settled it. I turned toward the door, stopping for a second. "When I don't, come back," I said. "Don't pretend you miss me." No one answered. They didn't need to. I walked out before they could say anything else. The house felt colder than ever that night, like I had already disappeared. By morning, I stood at the transport line, bag in hand. A soldier checked my name. "Hale," he said. "You're assigned to the front." I nodded, stepping forward without hesitation. I didn't look back. Not at the city. Not at my past. As the engine roared to life, I closed my eyes and made myself a promise. "If I survive this," I whispered, "I won't come back as their weak son." The doors began to shut, sealing everything behind me. "I'll come back, as someone they can't control," I said under my breath. The metal locked with a heavy sound. Someone they fear. War wasn't what I expected. It was worse. The moment I stepped off the transport, the heat hit me like a wall. "Move!" someone shouted. "You're not on vacation." I grabbed my bag and ran. Gunfire echoed in the distance, sharp and constant. "This place," I muttered. "It's chaos." "Get used to it," a voice said beside me. I turned and saw him, Liam Carter. He grinned like this was all a joke. "First time?" he asked. "Is it that obvious?" I said. "Yeah," he laughed. "You still look like you think you're going home." Before I could reply, an explosion shook the ground. "Down!" someone yelled. I dropped, heart racing. Bullets tore through the air. I froze. "Move, Hale!" Liam shouted. "Move or you're dead." But I couldn't. My hands shook. My mind went blank. Then someone grabbed my collar and dragged me behind cover. "You planning to die already?" the man snapped. I looked up. Captain Marcus Reed. His eyes were sharp, unreadable. I couldn't move, I admitted. He leaned closer. "You want to live?" I nodded quickly, then stopped thinking like a victim, he said. "Out here, hesitation gets you killed." Another explosion hit nearby. "Get up," he ordered. "You fight or you die. There's no third option." Something in his voice cut through my fear. I forced myself to stand. "Good," he said. "Now follow me." That was the moment everything changed. Later that night, I sat by a broken wall, trying to steady my hands. "You did all right?" Liam said, dropping beside me. I froze. I replied. Yeah, he shrugged. But you didn't stay frozen. That's what matters. A woman approached us, her expression cold. This him? She asked. Yeah, Liam said. Fresh meat. She looked at me carefully. Sergeant Naomi Blake, she said. I nodded. Hail, she crossed her arms. If you freeze again, I won't save you. You saved me? I asked. Twice, Liam said. You just didn't notice. Naomi turned away. Stay alive or don't. I don't care. I watched her leave, confused. She doesn't care? Liam smirked. She does. That's why she's still here. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into something I stopped counting. Reload faster, Reed barked during training. I'm trying, I shot back. Trying gets you killed, he replied. Do it again. I did. Again and again until my hands stopped shaking. You're improving, he told me one night. I have to, I said. I don't plan on dying here. He studied me. Good, because I don't train dead men. Every day, something inside me changed. Remember who you were? Liam asked once. I shook my head. No. Good, he said. That guy wouldn't last here. Naomi handed me a weapon during a mission. Don't hesitate, she said. I won't, I replied, and I meant it. The fear didn't disappear. It hardened. It became something else. I stopped waiting for orders. I started reacting, thinking, surviving. You're not the same anymore, Liam said one night. I know, I answered. Captain Reed overheard us. That's because he finally understands, he said. Understands what? I asked. He looked straight at me. This place doesn't care about you, so stop caring about what you used to be. I nodded slowly. That night I realized something. I wasn't the weak son they sent away anymore. I was becoming someone else, someone who could survive anything. The mission that should have killed me didn't. That's how I knew something was wrong. Check your gear, Liam said as we moved through the narrow canyon. Too quiet. It's always quiet before something bad, I replied. Naomi stopped ahead of us. Positions, she said sharply. I don't like this. I scanned the area. Feels empty. Exactly, she said. Then the first shot rang out. Ambush. Someone screamed. Bullets tore through the rocks around us. Cover, Liam shouted, dragging me down. This isn't random, Naomi yelled. They knew we'd be here, I fired back, my heart steady in a way it never used to be. How would they know? Captain Reed's voice cut through the chaos. Because someone told them! An explosion hit behind us. We're boxed in, Liam said. No, I replied, reloading fast. We're being executed. Naomi glanced at me. You're catching on. We pulled back behind a ridge. Orders? I asked Reed. He looked at me, calm even now. You want to know why men like you get sent here? I didn't answer. I already felt it. Because people back home think you're disposable, he said. Another blast shook the ground. Liam cursed. So what now? We die proving them right? I shook my head. No. Naomi narrowed her eyes. Then say it. We push back, I said. Liam blinked. You're serious? They expect us to panic, I continued. They expect us to run. Reed watched me carefully. And? And we don't, I said. We hit them first. A brief silence followed. Then Liam grinned. Now that sounds like a plan. Naomi checked her weapon. I'll take left flank. I'll draw their fire, Liam added. I looked at Reed. Give the order. He didn't hesitate. Do it. Everything moved fast after that. Go, I shouted, stepping out into the open. Gunfire followed instantly. Keep moving, Liam yelled, firing wildly. I advanced, not thinking, just acting. Targets ahead. Naomi called out. I see them, I replied, taking aim. One shot, then another. They're pulling back, Liam shouted. Don't let them, I said. We pushed harder, faster than they expected. They weren't ready for this, Naomi said. Good, I replied. Neither were we. Reed's voice came through. Maintain pressure! We've got them. Liam laughed. Focus! I snapped. More enemies fell back, their formation breaking. They're retreating, Naomi confirmed. Then we finish it, I said. By the time the sun started to rise, it was over. Silence replaced the gunfire. Liam dropped beside me, breathing hard. We actually did it. Naomi stood nearby, scanning the horizon. We survived. I looked around at what was left. No, I said quietly. We won. Reed approached us, his expression unreadable. That, he said, is the difference. Liam glanced at me. You've changed. I had to, I replied. Naomi nodded once. You're not disposable anymore. I clenched my weapon, feeling something settle inside me. That night, something shifted. I stopped fighting just to survive. I started fighting to win. By morning, we weren't victims anymore. We were the ones everyone feared. Years passed, but it felt like a lifetime. Another promotion, Liam said, tossing the file onto the table. You're climbing fast. I'm not climbing, I replied. I'm surviving. Naomi leaned against the wall. Same thing, out here. I looked at the insignia in my hand. Power keeps you alive. That's all this is. Liam smirked. Keep telling yourself that, Commander. I'm not a commander yet, I said. Naomi raised an eyebrow. You will be. Missions got harder. Enemies got smarter. Stay sharp, Captain Reed said before one operation. This one feels wrong. When does it ever feel right? Liam joked. Reed didn't smile. That's not a joke. We moved at night, silent and focused. Contact ahead, Naomi whispered. I see them, I said. Gunfire erupted without warning. Fall back, Reed ordered. No, I said. We push through. That's an order, he snapped. I hesitated. For a second, just one. Then everything collapsed. An explosion threw me to the ground. When I looked up, Reed was down. Captain! I shouted, crawling toward him. He was bleeding badly. Stay with me, I said, pressing my hands against the wound. He grabbed my arm. Listen to me. You're not dying, I said. We'll get you out. No, he said, his voice weak but steady. You won't. Liam knelt beside me. We need to move. Not without him, I snapped. Reed pulled me closer. This is your command now, I shook my head. I'm not ready. You are, he said. You just don't know it yet. Naomi looked at me. He's right, I ignored her. Tell me what to do. Reed's grip tightened. Don't trust anyone who hasn't bled beside you. I froze. What? That's how you stay alive, he said. His hand slipped. Captain? I said. No answer. Liam looked away. He's gone. I sat there for a moment, the noise of war fading around me. Naomi placed a hand on my shoulder. We need orders. I looked at her. We finished the mission. Liam nodded slowly. That's what he would have wanted. Move, I said, standing up. Something inside me shut down in that moment. After that day, everything changed. Commander Hale, a soldier said weeks later, we're ready for your orders. I didn't react at first. Naomi stepped closer. They're talking to you. I exhaled slowly. Right. Liam smiled slightly. Told you. I looked at the men waiting for me. We move at dawn, I said. Yes, sir, they replied. Sir. That word felt strange, but I didn't question it. I accepted it. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. They're afraid of you, Liam said one night. They should be, Naomi added. I stared into the distance. Fear keeps people alive. Naomi shook her head. No, it keeps them in line. Liam looked at me. You're not the same guy we met. I know, I said quietly. At night, when everything went silent, the past came back. My father's voice. Victor's smile. My mother's silence. You okay? Liam asked once. Yeah, I said. Just thinking. About them? He asked. Didn't answer. Naomi crossed her arms. They don't matter anymore. I looked at her. They made me who I am. And who are you? She asked. I paused. Commander Hale. The name people whispered with fear. But deep down, I still remembered that night. The boy they sent away. The one they thought wouldn't come back. I clenched my fist slightly. What would they do? If they saw me now? When the war finally ended, I didn't feel relief. I just stood there, staring at the burned horizon. It's over, Liam said beside me, almost unsure. Is it? I replied. Naomi crossed her arms. For us, yes. I didn't answer right away. Something felt wrong about peace. Months passed in silence after that. One morning, a courier handed me a sealed file. Commander Hale, he said. Urgent transmission. I opened it immediately. Naomi watched me. Bad news? I scanned the message. My expression didn't change. Liam leaned in. What is it? I handed it over. Read it. He frowned as he read aloud. Your family is requesting your return. Silence hit the room. Then Liam blinked. Your what? Naomi narrowed her eyes. After everything? I leaned back in my chair. Apparently I still exist to them. Liam scoffed. That's rich. Naomi stepped closer. What do you want to do? I stared at the ceiling. I don't know. Liam laughed once. That's a lie. I looked at him. Maybe. Naomi studied me. You're thinking about going. I didn't deny it. That's insane, Liam said. They threw you away. I stood up slowly. I remember. Naomi's voice softened slightly. Then, why go back? I walked toward the window. Because I want to see something. Liam frowned. See what? Whether they regret it, I said. Naomi shook her head. That won't fix anything. I didn't say it would, I replied. Liam stepped in front of me. You don't owe them anything. I met his eyes. I know. A long silence followed. Then I said it clearly. I'm going. Naomi sighed. I figured. Liam rubbed his face. You're really doing this? I nodded. Yes. He pointed at me. Just don't lose yourself again. I almost smiled. I already lost that guy. Naomi crossed her arms. Then come back alive. I will, I said. A few days later, I stood before the transport ship again. Same metal, different man. Destination confirmed, the officer said. Return clearance granted. I stepped forward. Let's go. Liam grabbed my shoulder. One last thing. What? I asked. Don't let them talk you into being that kid again, he said. I nodded slowly. They can try. Naomi gave me a short look. And if they do? I adjusted. My coat. They'll fail. The engines roared to life. As the ship lifted, I looked out one last time at the battlefield I once called home. You sure about this? Liam's voice came through the comm. No, I said honestly, but I'm going anyway. Naomi's voice followed. That's new. I leaned back. Everything is. The ship turned toward Earth, toward them, and for the first time in years, I wasn't the soldier they sent away. I wasn't the boy they forgot. I was something else now. Something they built, and something they could no longer control. The mansion hadn't changed, but I had. The moment I stepped inside, I felt it. The same cold walls, the same silence. But none of it touched me the way it used to. Commander Hale, the guard at the door said nervously. They're waiting inside. Of course they are, I replied. He didn't answer. He just opened. The doors. I walked in. My father was the first I saw. You came, he said, voice low. I didn't come for you, I replied. He flinched slightly but didn't speak. My mother stood near the window. When she turned and saw me, her hands shook. No, she whispered. Is it really you? I looked at her. You tell me. Her eyes filled instantly. We thought you were dead. I stepped closer. You wanted me to be. Silence hit the room like a wall. My father cleared his throat. That's not fair. I turned to him. Isn't it? Victor finally stepped forward from the side. He looked different now, less certain, less in control. Brother, he said carefully, we need to talk. I almost laughed. Do we? He forced a smile. Yes, I tilted my head. You sent me to war to die. What exactly is left to talk about? My mother gasped. Victor, he raised a hand. It wasn't like that. I stepped closer. Then explain it to me. He hesitated. For the first time I saw it. Fear. We're in trouble, he finally said. I nodded slowly. Of course you are. My father stepped in. The company is collapsing. Enemies are closing in. We need protection. I looked around the room. And you thought of me? My mother reached out slightly. You're still family. I pulled back. Funny. I don't remember being treated like it. Silence again. Victor tried again. We made mistakes. I stared at him. Mistakes? He nodded quickly. Yes, but we can fix this. I laughed once, cold, short. You don't fix sending someone to die, I said. My father's voice lowered. What do you want? I paused. That question felt different now. I wasn't the boy standing in this room years ago. I wasn't begging anymore. I want honesty, I said. They all went quiet. Then I continued. Did any of you ever care? My mother broke first. I did, she said quickly. I always did. I looked at her. Then why didn't you stop it? She had no answer. Victor stepped forward again. We were protecting the family. I shook my head. No, you were protecting yourselves. My father looked away. That told me everything. Naomi's voice echoed. In my memory, power shifts everything, and she was right. Now I was the one they were watching carefully, waiting for, afraid of. Liam's voice would have laughed at this moment. They need you, I said quietly. My father nodded quickly. Yes. I leaned back slightly. And what if I say no? Silence returned, heavier this time. Victor swallowed. Then we're finished. I studied them. All of them. The same people who once decided I didn't matter. Now they were waiting. On my answer. My mother whispered, Please. And in that moment I realized something simple. The boy they sent away was gone, and the man standing here was no longer asking for permission. Their empire was collapsing. I could see it in the way they moved. Faster, nervous, unstable. Everything is falling apart, my father said as he paced the room. I sat across from him, calm. That sounds familiar. Victor rubbed his forehead. This isn't a joke. I looked at him. Neither was my life. Silence hit instantly. My mother stood near the table, hands shaking slightly. Please. We didn't call you here for arguments. I tilted my head. Then why did you call me? My father stopped pacing. You know why. I leaned back in my chair. Say it. He hesitated. Just for a second. Then, we need you. I almost laughed. Me? Victor stepped forward. You're Commander Hale now. You have influence, resources, connections. I nodded slowly. And before that, he paused. I continued. Before all this power, I was nothing to you. My mother whispered, That's not true. I looked at her. Really? She didn't answer. My father finally spoke again. You're the only one who can fix this. That line sat between us, heavy, desperate. I studied him carefully. Why would I help you? No one spoke. The silence told me everything. Victor exhaled sharply. Because if you don't, we lose everything. I nodded. Now we're getting honest. My mother stepped closer. We're still your family. I shook my head. No, family doesn't do what you did. She flinched. My father's voice lowered. We made mistakes. I leaned forward slightly. Mistakes are forgetting a birthday. I stood up. You sent me to die. Victor raised his voice. We didn't think you'd survive. I looked at him. That makes it better? He stopped. I walked slowly around the table. Let me understand this, I said. You gamble my life, I survive, and now I'm your solution? My father sighed. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. I stopped walking. But it did. My mother's voice cracked. We didn't know what else to do. I turned to her. You always had a choice. Silence again. This time, no. One rushed to fill it. Victor spoke softer now. We're being hunted. Investors pulled out, allies disappeared. I nodded. So the rats are leaving the sinking ship. My father frowned. Don't talk like that. I looked at him. Then don't act like it. A long pause. Then I said it clearly. You don't need a son right now. You need a weapon. My father didn't deny it. That told me enough. My mother stepped forward again. Please, just help us survive this. I studied her face. For the first time, I didn't feel small. I felt distance, control, clarity. Survive? I repeated. Victor nodded. Quickly. Yes, I turned away. You had years to think about survival. I faced them again. You chose control instead. My father's voice softened. What do you want? That question again, but this time I already knew the answer. I looked at all of them slowly. You want my help? I said. They all nodded. I paused. Then I spoke clearly. Then you follow my rules now. My mother blinked. What? I stepped forward. No arguments, no secrets, no decisions without me. Victor clenched his jaw. You can't just... I interrupted him. I already did. Silence returned, but this time it wasn't mine. It was theirs. My father finally nodded slowly. Fine. Victor looked shocked. Dad! My father didn't look at him, because he understood what I understood. The power wasn't in their hands anymore. It was in mine. I made them an offer, not because I cared, not because I forgave them, because I wanted closure. You want my help? I said, standing in the center of the room. Then you follow my rules. My father didn't speak immediately. He just studied me like I was something unfamiliar. Victor, however, reacted instantly. You think you can control us? I turned slowly toward him. Control? He stepped forward. This is still our company, our name. I nodded once. And I'm still the reason you're not already destroyed. Silence followed. My mother looked between us nervously. Please, can we just focus on fixing this? I didn't look at her. We are. Victor scoffed. By letting him take over? I walked closer to him. Say it again. He didn't move back, but I saw it, the hesitation in his eyes. You heard me, he said, forcing confidence. I stopped right in front of him. You think this is about control? He didn't answer. I lowered my voice. This is about survival. My father finally spoke. And what exactly do you want from us? I turned to him. Obedience. That word hit the room like a hammer. Victor laughed sharply. You're insane. I looked at him calmly. No, I'm the only one here who understands reality. My mother whispered. This isn't who you are. I finally looked at her. It is now. A heavy silence followed. My father rubbed his forehead. You're asking us to surrender everything. I nodded. You already did. You just didn't realize it yet. Victor's jaw tightened. We don't take orders from you. I stepped closer again. Then don't ask for my help. That shut him up. My father exhaled slowly. What are your rules? I turned fully toward him. Good question. I began pacing slowly. First, no decisions without me. Victor immediately snapped. That's ridiculous. I raised a hand. I wasn't finished. He went quiet. Second, I continued, no secret deals, no side negotiations. Everything goes through me. My mother frowned. That's extreme. I looked at her. So is losing everything you built. Silence again. Third, I said, stopping in place, you don't lie to me, ever. My father nodded slowly. And if we refuse? I looked at him directly. Then you handle your collapse alone. That line changed the air. Victor looked away first. My mother's hands tightened together. My father didn't move. He just stared at me. For a moment, I saw something in his eyes. Not anger, not pride, understanding. You've changed, he said quietly. I nodded. Yes, Victor muttered. He's not even the same person. I turned to him. No, I'm the consequence of your decision. That shut him up completely. A long silence followed. Then my father spoke again. Fine. Victor snapped his head toward him. Dad! My father raised a hand. We don't have a choice. My mother looked down, defeated. We never did. I watched them carefully. Good. Then we understand each other. I stepped back slowly, but I didn't feel satisfaction. Not yet. Because this wasn't about revenge, it was about balance, about showing them what it meant to lose control. Victor finally spoke again, quieter this time. So what now? I looked at all of them. Now, I said, you listen. And for the first time in my life, they did. As I rebuilt what they had destroyed, I started noticing cracks everywhere. Not in buildings, but in people. In their lies, in their fear. Reports are coming in faster than expected, Naomi said beside me. I didn't look up from the file. That means someone is panicking. Liam leaned against the table. Or someone is hiding something. I paused. Same thing. That was when I started digging deeper. Access these records, I told Naomi. All of them, she frowned. That's internal Hale family data. I nodded. Exactly. Liam raised an eyebrow. You sure you want to open that door? I replied, it's already open. I'm just walking through it. Hours turned into days. Then I found it. A transfer. Order, my deployment file, signed internally. Not by my father, by Victor. I stared at it for a long time. Naomi noticed my silence. What is it? I didn't answer immediately. Get him here. Liam straightened. You're serious? I stood up. Now. When Victor arrived, he already looked uneasy. What is this about? He asked quickly. I placed the file on the table. Explain it. He glanced at it, then laughed nervously. Old paperwork. I didn't move. Don't lie to me. His smile faded slightly. It's nothing. Naomi stepped forward. It has your signature. That changed his expression. I leaned back. You sent me. Victor exhaled sharply. Listen, I cut him off. You sent me to war. He raised his voice. I was protecting the family. The room went silent. I stood slowly. Protecting? He pointed at me. You were unstable. You were a risk to everything we built. I nodded once. So you removed the risk. My voice stayed calm. Too calm. Naomi looked between us. Victor. He ignored her. It wasn't personal. I stepped closer. It was very personal. Liam muttered. Dude. Victor turned to him. You don't understand, I interrupted again. No, he does. That made him stop. I took another step forward. Say it clearly. You signed my death sentence. He shook his head. I didn't think you'd survive. I smiled slightly. That's the problem. Silence hit the room hard. Naomi's voice was low. So it was him. I nodded. Yes, Victor snapped. I did it for this family. I leaned in slightly. No, you did it so you wouldn't have to compete with me. That hit him. I saw it immediately. His confidence broke, just a little. Then everything exploded. My father entered the room. What is going on here? I turned without emotion. Ask him. Victor tried to speak. Dad, I can explain. I cut him off. He signed my deployment. Silence. My father looked at Victor slowly. Is that true? Victor hesitated. That was enough. My father stepped back. You told me it was strategic necessity. Victor's voice dropped. It was. My mother appeared behind him. Victor. She had heard everything. I watched carefully. The room wasn't just breaking. It was collapsing. My father's voice turned cold. You lied to me. Victor tried again. I was protecting. My father raised his hand. Enough. That one word ended him. My mother stepped back, shaking. What did you do? Victor looked around desperately. I did what needed to be done. No one agreed. Not anymore. My father turned away. Get out. Victor froze. What? You heard me? My father said. Get out. The silence that followed was heavier than war. Victor looked at me. You're going to let them do this? I met his eyes. You did this to yourself. That was the moment everything ended for him. He left without another word, and I didn't stop him. Because for the first time, I wasn't the one losing everything. In the end, I didn't stay. I stood in the center of the mansion one last time, watching everything settle into silence. It's done, Liam said beside me. Not everything, I replied. Naomi crossed her arms. Their system is stable now. Your rules worked. I nodded slowly. For now. My father stood at a distance, saying nothing. My mother looked like she wanted to speak, but couldn't find the words. Victor was gone, and so was the illusion of family. You really leaving? Liam asked quietly. I looked at him. I already finished what I came for. Naomi studied me. And them? I turned slightly toward the others. They'll survive. My mother finally stepped forward. Please. Her voice cracked. Don't leave us again. The room froze. I closed my eyes for a second. Then I said it. I already did. Silence hit harder than anything before. My father lowered his head slightly. My mother covered her mouth. I didn't wait for another word. I walked past them. Every step felt lighter, not because I didn't care, but because I finally stopped carrying them. Behind me, my mother spoke again. We can fix this. I stopped at the door. Naomi and Liam stayed beside me, waiting. I didn't turn around. There's nothing left to fix, I said. My father finally spoke, voice low. You've become something we don't recognize. I smiled slightly. That's the point. Liam exhaled. Let's go, Commander. I nodded. Naomi stepped closer. You sure about this? I looked at her. I've never been more sure. We stepped outside. The air felt different. Lighter. Liam stretched his arms. Freedom suits you. I glanced at him. Took long enough. Naomi smirked slightly. You could have walked away years ago. I shook my head. No, I had to become this first. She nodded like she understood. Behind us, the mansion stayed silent. No more commands, no more expectations, no more chains, just distance. Liam looked. Back once. They look broken, I replied. They always were. Naomi asked quietly. Do you regret it? I paused. For a moment, I thought about everything. The war, the betrayal, the blood, the silence. Then I answered, no. We walked down the long path together. Step by step, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not power, not anger, not revenge. Freedom. Liam broke the silence. So what now? I looked ahead. Now we live. Naomi raised an eyebrow. That simple? I nodded. Yeah. The wind moved past us, like it was finally giving permission. For the first time, I wasn't the son they discarded. I wasn't the soldier they shaped. I wasn't the weapon they used. I was just me. And as I kept walking forward, I realized something simple but true. They sent me to die, but I came back alive. And this time, I chose myself.